Hello stars, my name is Blue and today we are lost in Pesterquest. I apologize for disappearing for a little over a week. I got sick. But I'm back and I'm not sick anymore. At least, not that I can tell. But let's get started. I believe last time we did Gamzee. Yes. Today, Volume 6, Route 2, The Scrooge of the High Seas. Virska. Your latest narrative jaunt has you walking down the Alternian shore. The two moons light up this beach cove in shades of pink and lime green, their reflections playing at shimmering patterns in the gentle waves. It would be beautiful if not for the haggard, monstrous gulls picking from the flesh of the dead, and plungingly rotting fish, crabs, and even one of their own. Well then, you keep your distance as they eye you warily, gore on their chipped beaks. These are not potential friends. Everywhere you jump, serendipity seems to guide your hand. But would it be right to call you fortunate? The night is cool, almost cold. You kick a pure white seashell down the beach. It skips gracefully in the dark gray sand. You have brought friends together and just barely begun to master this tremendous and strange new power, but no, you think, you're not fortunate. As you walk alone down the sand that's still radiating stored up heat from the searing day, you feel a pang. Something is missing. You know you felt this way before, but you can't place when. You have a gulf within you, the width and breadth of this ocean. An isolation so plain, so true, that it seems impassable, invincible. You step on a weird bug and you don't even care. Yes, you are filled with the sudden, almost comforting conviction. Nothing you have done on your journey has really made a difference. If you can pick up and put down the lives of these alien weirdos and human weirdos and shake them like an etch-a-sketch when things go wrong, are you really accomplishing anything? Or are you just building shitty castles in the sand with flimsy plastic implements? Castles that won't mean shit for nothing when the tide rises. You've decided. You are a creature of solitude. You are a rock. You are an island. From now on, you walk alone. Resist the urge to sing Green Day. There may be an angled figure crouched with terrible posture on the dock ahead, sure. But that figure may be sitting next to an intriguing-looking moored ship, yes. But surely one glimpse of a potential life to meddle in won't immediately make you fall off the wagon. Back to a life in itinerant friendship, right? A sweet new friend! That wasn't gonna last long. MC was born to make friends. Also, Virska's sprite is interesting. God damn it. You amble over to the girl hunched on the dock like the stupid friend slut you are. Doing an acrobatic fucking pirouette off the wagon. She hasn't seen you yet, so you watch her like a creep. She's leaning over a complicated pile of papers, erasing boxes and filling them in again. Every once in a while she pauses to roll various dice. As soon as you take one step onto the wooden dock, she looks up and jumps with feline quickness into a standing position, looking immediately ready for a fight. Whoa. What are you? You raise your hands in a pathetic sort of I'm innocent and weak motion. Which, for you, is basically any motion. Wait a second. You're the weirdo that was bothering Kanaya, aren't you? Yep, you're exactly that weirdo. And now you're here saying hello to a new stranger and maybe make a new friend. Isn't that great? Great, just what I need. More meddling. I know I'm the coolest, but I'm kind of busy right now. Big campaign tonight. Dude, you are so good at campaigns, you tell her. You're all about the hope and change. You helped Al Gore hang a Chad, Ty Capone, and Tyler Chad. Tyler too. Tippy Canone? I don't fucking know. What? What even the fuck are you saying? Don't call me dude, or anything else for that matter. You mean you're down to help? Maybe her campaign manager? Ha! I'm the captain here, buddy. But, as it happens, I'm currently all out of first mates. Wanna be a swabby? Oh, it's like a boat thing. Yeah? So, that's why there's a boat here? What are all these papers on the ground for? The campaign, dumbass! They're the character sheets for me, the greatest petticoats sea grift ever to sell the 8 Cs. One of her friends was raised in a cave and she still knows what flarp is. Well, you can zap over to the cave and ask her then. Her look of indifference is immediately replaced with a tilt ahead, as though your threat to leave caught her attention. Ew, not unless you want to smell like cat piss for weeks and get high off secondhand nip. Look, it's simple. Pick a name, roll up some stats. For example, I am Marquise Benneret Mindfang. I'm the Scrooge of the high seas, an undefeated champion of naval flarp. My colors on the horizon turn even high bloods into sniveling cowards. You say this sounds really cool, but aren't troll names 6 letters long? I mean, you've only met a couple before this, but for some reason you have a really strong sense of rules here. I'm in character here. Try to keep up. You guess that explains the outfit. She seems really into this. Maybe weirdly into this? It's all a bit intense. Isn't this just a game? No, it's not just a game. Flarp is more than just a game. And I'm the best there is. How about this? If you agree to make a character and sail with me, I'll tell you my real name. Not that you're going to sleep or anything, that would be patently ridiculous. Okay, let's walk you through this. Flarp Player's Handbook. The stat bat? What? It's like D&D with more rules. Okay, let's walk you through this. You should be flattered that the master gamer like me is giving you a full tutorial. I had to read the books myself, with no help. The first thing you do is roll values for each of the 10 dice Rasta. Simple, right? She pops a huge pack of dice out of her Silodex and starts handing you groups at a time. You roll 2d4 for Dice Rostrum Throne of the Empress and get 2 ones. You roll 6d6s for Dice Rostrum Conductor Stand and 6 fucking snake eyes stare up at you from the wood of the dock. Wow, you're really bad at this. Take the insult lying down. Where are my choices? You gotta hand it to her. When she's right, she's right. And she's right, so she's right. You finished all 26 dice rolls required for this game, and you've gotten the lowest one each time. What rotten luck. I have never seen anyone roll so low before. I didn't even know you could get a 0. That's okay. We can save this by putting the stats in the right place. She flips another page of the player's handbook that shows you the attributes of Flarp. For some reason you can read them, despite just arriving on this planet for the first time. Right? Hey! Writers! If you could stop breaking my heart every time, that would be awesome! So your Vim, Grit, Pulchritude, and Grace, I don't fucking know, combine with real life vitals to make your HP. Wait, real life vitals? Your body is weak and shitty. Is this some kind of hardcore game? The most dangerous game? That's a reference. If you die in game, do you die in real life? Yeah. You didn't know? The sheer combined shock of what you don't know could kill an elephant quicker than Thomas Edison trying to discredit an immigrant. You get to roll again when you level up, so you won't be so pathetic forever. I mean, if you survive. But with a Scrooge like me at your side, you're on the easy street. I'm jealous of you, really. You gulp and nod. Okay, let's finish this. The Marquise grins. Her lipstick smears a bit where her fangs jut out. You think that's just how it is for trolls wearing lipstick, but can I ask what's perfect? She pulls an 8-ball out of her pocket and smashes it, suddenly and violently on the dock. You jump at the noise. She looks at you, pitifully, and then decides not to make fun of you. Out of the wretched plastic, sophisticated spear, a gross fucking grubby worm appears. It's like the size of a wiener dog, and it's wriggling. You see that it's pulsating. Covered in the blue tinted family recreation water once inside an 8-ball. The grub's swollen posterior glistens. It extends to deposit a massive brood of eggs, each glowing in the center with a slowly pulsating LED light. This is so fucking gross. You look away and dry heave a bit, leaning off the dock. So far this game sucks ass. Jag. Don't tell me you've never seen a game grub before. You tell her you have never seen a game grub before. Also, maybe she should give a CW before she makes you watch a thing that includes glistening ovipositor. Posture? I don't feel like figuring out how to say words today. What? Ah, shit, yeah. That was pretty gross. Here. You bring up the pause menu, click on warnings, and give it a read before making a well-informed decision. Have these been here the whole time? Am I supposed to do that? Because I'm not doing that. Virska taps her foot impatiently while you fuck around in the game client. For some reason, seeing a full list of content warnings isn't easing your anxiety about what's ahead. It reminds you of something that once made you really angry. In fact, you're especially worried about the gore and death tags. Maybe you should just peace out of this. There's basically no harm whatsoever in you yeeting out of this one. It might even save you from drowning a good measure. Not that flirtation with dangerous ends is exactly rare for you. Now we have a choice. Okay, peace out is going to be an immediate ending. We're still gonna do it though. You know what? You're not filling up to tabletop gaming today. You close your eyes and feel yourself sink into another narrative. Wait! Your loss. Oh, she looks so defeated. Oh, she looks so sad. Oh, I'm so sorry. Virska. Oh. Oh, I meant load. Flarp was Virska. You know what? You're an informed reader and a prepared gamer. You got this. You ask Virska what's next. She points to one of the glowing, blinking eggs, which is hatching in a pixelated looking bat. It flaps its way into the air with a high-pitched squeak and starts glowing and projecting a holographic image of a torch. Alright, all you have to do is assign your dice roster on your attribution sconce. What? Pick your best and worst stats. Your top 2 stats determine your starting class. That's stupid. Let me determine my own fucking starting class. There's a lot of classes, but I'm already the best one. Alright, well that seems simple enough. Drag attributes to dice roster, you want to utilize for them. This decision is permanent, so make sure you are satisfied before pressing finalize and ensconcing them. Ensconcing them. So 14, 8, 5, 3, 1, 9. So their top 2 attributes above will determine your starting class. We've got Throne of the Empress and Scrimshaw Workstation. I don't even know what any of these are. Okay, that's dexterity. Okay. Vigor. Your primary component of HP. High Vim makes you more durable. Low Vim makes you more dangerous when you're vulnerable. Rascality. Your ability to get away with mischief. Your compliance matrix defense. Dexterity measures your finesse paired with grace and for intricate tasks. That word is your suaveness and your hard-boiled credentials. Most important action that requires for any check. Oh, so this is charisma. Grace, your ability to maintain your poise and smoothness paired with dex for appetite, hunger, and enthusiasm. High app makes you more effective in combat, while low app makes you passive healing. Man grit. Grit just isn't for men, but it's what helps you lift saves and keep your cool when you're wounded. Hubris, your sheer confidence. High help lets you overrule your clutter more successfully. Makes you compliance matrix, offense. Increases your compliance matrix offense. Leverage is the foundation of balance of power between clouders. Your imagination, your inventiveness highly useful for all classes when cloudy. Okay. Your 2 highest attributes are Raz and Dex. Your starting class will be Churlish Whirlwind. A cavalcade of rudeness alights on every branch wherever you dare to tread. A max level Petticoat Seagriff and a level 1 Churlish Whirlwind. Not exactly the mega strat. You're lucky you're paired with me, the number 1 gamer on Alternia. Before I can carry you to victory, we need just one more thing. There's more of this bullshit? What now? Is a giant sandworm going to poke its head out of the sand and puke some fucking game mechanics that will be described as extraordinary narrative detail? Quit being so dramatic. Your character needs a name. Oh, a name. You already have one of those though. You told Jade it already, but man, you're not feeling as comfortable with it right now for some reason. Why is thinking yourself as a distinct being with an identity and history make you so uncomfortable? What's wrong with you? Might as well just make up a character name. Your character name. Oh, it's so weird saying my name on here. Okay. The Marquise welcomes you aboard her ship, Blue. As soon as you confirm your name, the other eggs start squelching and cracking into more little flying holographic biotech protectors of various shapes and sizes, moths and fireflies and lightning bugs zipping off into the distance. Virska captchalogs all of her various books and character sheets and pushes her eye patch glasses up the bridge of her nose and clambers up the gangplank of her ship, which you see has a name painted on the side in cerulean script as you follow her. Brigitine? I don't know. Here, hold this. Virska hands you a rope and you hold onto it, keeping the mainsail rolled up as she scurries to and fro, aft and bow, across the deck of the ship, making adjustments. You watch her try and tie a double bowline, but struggle with the dexterity of her mechanical fingers. Swearing in frustration under her breath, you politely look away and try to make idle conversation. You ask for her end of the bargain. What? Her name! You meet a character. She tells you you're her name. That's the deal. She secures another rigging and stomps back over to you. You haven't really made a character until you're in costume. Is your fit not already fresh? Perhaps even the freshest? Listen, Dave and Dirk might think so, but certainly not. Here. She dumps an extra outfit out of her inventory, looking almost exactly like an earlier version of hers, smaller, with more amateur stitching. You put on the bridge coat and feel super badass. She looks at you, tilts her head to evaluate, and then grabs a jaunty hat, feather and all, from her Silodex and pops it on your head. Nice! Alright, my name is Virska. Virska Secret. Don't you forget it. Virska Secret, or the Marquise, satisfied with her preparation, snatches the rope from you and lets it go. Unfurling the mainsail, she practically skips to the captain's wheel, ready to steer the ready to steer the ship out of the harbor. I'm sorry. My brain just can't grasp that word today. Real name basis is one step closer to friendship, though for a moment you feel like you got told that name already. Your brain is messed up enough without remembering stuff that maybe didn't happen in canon, if canon is even a real thing that means something anymore. Your unsettling metatextual introspection is interrupted by Virska shouting, "Roll for initiative!" You hear the buzz of projector bugs boarding your ship, and soon 4 flickering holograms appear on the main deck, looking like lurching zombie trolls. You already hear dice rattling on the deck. You look over at her to cheat and figure out what you need to roll. Initiative. Alright, I'm starting with an 18. Looks like you got subtract a modifier, 19. Huh. Guess you go first, Blue. This is it! It's LARPing time. You look down at a piece of paper with your abilities on it, ready to cast magic missile or Bugsby's grasping hand or some shit. You pick the top attack from the list. It's your special class ability. You channel the spirit of the churlish whirlwind, point straight at one of the holographic zombies, and yell that you're casting Breeze Those Stiffs. You grab a d20 and blow on it in your hand. You're Lady Luck. No snake eyes. Other gambling terms, whatever. You let the icosahedron of tabletop destiny drop through the air, awaiting the final result with bated breath. You get a 2 and miss. God damn it. Virska laughs out loud. Check out how a real gamer does it. Then she shows you how a real gamer does it. Over the course of this and the next 4 holographic encounters of ballooning complexity, tediousness difficulty, and word count, she just rolls so many goddamn dice and keeps track of so many goddamn stats. Yeah, that's how it is. You're overwhelmed, bewildered, and tired of doing math in pencil by the time the last squid-themed hollow monster dies. You were worried about the danger of this game before, but it seems like the only way you're gonna die today is from fucking boredom. It's bored if you don't immerse yourself in it. You gotta roleplay, MC. Then you spot it. A schooner painted all in black emerges from the fog. You shout up to Virska that there's a ship on the port horizon. Virska looks right. Does she not know the difference between port and starboard? You point in the proper direction. She gives you that mischievous grin of hers. Now it's time for the real action. We've entered the PvP enabled zone. She puts aside her character sheets and dice, drawing the blue saber. She holds it in one hand, the ship's wool in the other. That's the Rue. The ship of Dreadclaw Ophelia, top of the naval flarp leaderboards. She's got a whole crew on that boat. But she's just another rich sea dweller with hired help, and she's been too scared to face me. Virska pointed your ship straight at the Rue, and you picked up speed. You can make out a troll girl with finned ears and a gaudy purple outfit that you describe as a sexy pirate Halloween costume from the world's most bougie party city, Dreadclaw Ophelia. It's absolutely garish compared to Virska's more normcore approach to RP activewear, but dressed so much more humbly than the captain are a bunch of low blood standing behind her, clutching shitty rusty swords and shaking. So let's bring the fight to her. You're not slowing down. You're pointed straight at the enemy's hull. Virska steers your ship directly into a well-appointed schooner, and you struggle to keep your feet at the shock of impact, which knocks the violet blood and her frightened thralls to the deck of the Rue. She yells over the din horrific wood-on-wood screeching. Hey, Swabby! Wanna be really good at sword fighting? You look at her with stars in your eyes. Yes, you do want to be really good at sword fighting. You nod eagerly, and she underhand tosses you her blue-hilted saber, which you catch eagerly. Virska grins back, and she puts a hand to her temple and squints with her one good eye. The 7 red dots of her prosthetic seem to smear and blur as your vision loses focus. You've managed well to this point as your first mate of Virska's ship, but your sea legs seem to give out on you all at once. Virska, are you mind controlling us? You drop the sword you were given, and it clatters to the deck. She doesn't look happy. You try to tell her something's wrong, but your mouth lolls open and you drool a bit. Dull pain gains a sharp and sudden clarity. It feels as though 8 spindly eggs are crawling in your head. No, in your head. Each footfall feels more like knife cutting through butter. At some point, all sensation slips into nothing, and you follow the sword to the ground, asleep. What the fuck? Wake up, moron! You don't hear that, and you don't wake up. The salt and swell of the ocean gives way to the rustling of alien trees. No longer do you hear the screams of gulls following your ship, waiting for corpses and gore to tumble overboard. It's all peaceful. Consciousness returns to you, and its first presence is discovery that you're face down in slightly wet dirt. Some got in your mouth. You spit it out and sit up, brushing muck off your flarp costume. Wait. That's not a flarp costume. That's a hoodie with a jagged cerulean symbol. A different symbol on it, loose fitting, as though it belonged to a friend. Yo, Gabe, I thought... Don't break my heart like this. We talked about this. Half memories swim in your mind as you take in the scene, just as familiar as your clothing. A stump sitting in a clearing between the trees of a purple treed Altarian forest. A harpoon sticks out of it. This stump would typically fill you with unease, an aura of death and defeat. But a scrolly silhouette cuts through the darkness, and you step further into the clearing and feel your heart lift. Sitting there on the stump, kicking... I'm not okay! Sitting there on the stump, kicking bare feet back and forth, tilting her head to the side and smiling impishly, is your friend, Boulder Lamanti. You remember her. You remember her! Psst. Fancy seeing you here. That's a joke. I'm a figment of your imagination, and was expecting you the whole time. She pats the stump next to her. In an inviting gesture, you sit down. You feel less adrift than you can ever remember. You tell her you missed her. Of course you did. You've gotten yourself into a real mess, dear friend. You ask her about all your old friends sitting next to you. They flip through your mind clear as day, as though the memories were never locked away in the first place. How are Tagora and Gaelic doing? Has she run into Audata again? What's going on in the neighborhood? Do folks miss you? That last question collapses her wry smile into a genuine crestfallen expression. I can't really tell you that for sure. You've seen it yourself, just how much he can do. There's a whole other disturbance in this neighborhood, and it has his nefarious fingerprints all over it. It's almost like he was preparing for this. But I try to stay one step ahead, and I remember what I'm fighting for. Do you? The question is arresting. What are you doing? Even with your memory clouded, you've just been bumbling into other people's stories, breaking things as you go. Well, there's nothing wrong with breaking things. It's like they say. Sometimes you have to compromise a few unfertilized cluck-based embryos in the name of a complete breakfast. You tell her you haven't had a good breakfast in ages. One of those places you were at had swords in the fridge. Also, you have absolutely no idea what you're doing. You're going where the river takes you. But things are different now. There is a great power within you that you are just now realizing. The power to shape the river, to use its waters to scour the lands as you please. A power even he doesn't fully understand. You look down at your hands. Sitting next to her, you start to remember the green room. The story you've fallen into. You tell her there's so much broken and you have no idea how to fix it. You tell her you wish it was real, not just in your head. She'd know what to do. She tilts her head again, inquisitively. Am I, though? Just in your head, I mean. The story is only broken if you accept that it's broken. If you think of the story as something given to you, but it's not. Puppet masters may try and tell you that the strings they are pulling are the only ones. As she continues to say this, her head jerks back oddly. But she continues whispering, calm as ever. Don't be afraid. Don't let anyone tell you that the story belongs to them. Not him. Not anyone. You feel it too. It feels like threads tug at your body, and at hers even more. Her limbs twitch and pull in gruesome pantomime as more and more strings loop around her and disappear skyward. They nearly surrounded her completely, but you are powerless to resist. Paralyzed. It's for you. It's always been for you. Remember, friend. The only question. She only manages to spit out 4 more words as she is swallowed up and tangled into the spider's web of marionette strings, choked and broken. What will you do? The whole scene seems to melt away in a searing green, and you are falling, dancing beneath the skilled hands controlling you. He is here. He was already. The ticking of 1,000 clocks, exactly in time, echoes around you. Did you miss me? No, fucker! Let me remember my friends! I seem to be in your mind. I'm flattered. It's no wonder you're thinking about me just after meeting one of my greatest disappointments. You really do spend too much time around willful little girls. It may start to give you ideas. Ideas of choice. Of challenge. You're relevant because those holding the strings decided you're relevant. An observer. The show must go on, but don't make the mistake these little ingrates did. It can go on without you. The bits that really matter, at least. What's that? Am I doing this? I'm afraid not, darling. I don't even know to what you're referring. Tears sear at the edge of your eyes again. You try to keep Boulder's words in your mind as the strings squeeze the breath out of you. What will you do? Another voice seems to answer. From another place entirely, scratchy and loud, it says, "Fix this!" You wake up. Cold stone and a draft greets you. Charming. You wearily open your eyes, memories of a dream already fading to the wisps of your mind. You're in a cluttered bedroom, the cluttered respite block that you're sure is Virska's, based on the broken 8-ball scattered everywhere. You pick yourself up off the ground and try to think about how you got here. You pause. You passed out back on the ship. She must have brought you home, but where is she? You turn around to see a window. You look outside to see a dramatic scene below. Virska is mind-controlling a group of thralls. One she must have won off the Dreadclaw while you were out cold. They're marching one by one towards a massive web. But perched in the web is a giant spider, heaving, hulking, hungry. Virska's about to feed the losers of this game to her lucus. This is probably gonna give us an ending, but you can't watch. Hide in her room and wait. Okay, holy shit. Virska's lucus is a giant spider monster that eats children. This explains so much, and also raises a significant number of questions that you're going to think about while not watching these kids get eaten. You look for something to distract yourself with. A spot on the black raggedy book, much older than anything else in this room, with Virska's symbol on the cover. You reach for it, opening up, flipping to a random page, and seeing what looks like a journal scrawled in Cerulean, but not Virska's handwriting from your character sheet. Looking inside the first page, you see the name Mindfang. You read, and holy shit, you're very unsure this is appropriate for a young girl to be reading. You keep flipping through to different parts, and wow, it just keeps getting worse. Virska named her character after this? You lose yourself and hate reading Mindfang's long stories about petty crime, dubious consent, and weirdly detailed descriptions of the outfit of the woman named Bradglare. You're surprised, then, when Virska walks up the stairs, hands in pocket, looking at the ground. She doesn't even look at you before sitting down on the floor across from you. Crossed legs, staring 1,000 yards into the distance, she rocks back and forth, hands still in her pockets. You go to give her a reassuring pat on the back. As soon as you touch her metal shoulder, cold even through her shirt, she turns to you with a jumping glare and hisses like a cat before facing away. You get the message. She takes an 8-ball out of her inventory again. Then savagely, brutally beats it on the stone floor out of her room until it's nothing but shards and a puddle. The two of you sit. She occasionally picks through the debris of the 8-ball and rocks, clenching and unclenching her fists. But as the minutes pass, her breathing slows bit by bit. You don't say a word or bring up what happened. She's the first one who talks. Earlier, you seemed like confused about why I care so much about playing a character. She thumbs the dog-eared edge of a worn piece of paper in her sharp, clawed hands. Staring at the wall, she's still got blood on her jacket. Blood that almost makes you retch in the memory of spidery mandibles devouring her spoils. One glimpse of it makes you sick. What would dozens do? Hundreds. I mean, it seems obvious to me that the Marquise is the greatest and coolest character ever made. But I've been her for so long, it's sort of like a part of me. Everyone's throwing shapes every day, acting like something, right? But most people are so boring. They don't dress up. They don't act. They're always so obsessed with being the exact kind of troll they were yesterday. Maybe you don't have to be the same. Maybe you can go on message boards and try out being someone new and finding out you like it. Maybe it's nice to be called something your lucus doesn't call you. And meet people who only ever know you as the girl online or the other ship who is like super badass and good at things. Come on, you can't tell me you never wanted to be someone else. You edged a bit closer to her during this rant and are looking at the sheet of paper in her hand. It's a spreadsheet looking series of boxes she's filled in with red ink. Name: Marquise Spinneret's Mindfang. Class Petticoat Seagrift. Gender: F. Levels: all of them. She's doodled all over the margins. Art of her captaining ships and swinging swords and drinking out of goblets. Have you ever wanted to be someone else? The question makes you uncomfortable. Just ponder who you are now fills you with unease. Fuck playing a character. Filling out a sheet like this for yourself seems impossible. A piece of paper representing all your physical and mental attributes, a blank canvas, the common outlines thereon defining the boundaries of every conceivable personality. You don't even know how you'd fill in the gender box. You've been busy making friends, okay? Suddenly she turns on you, and there's a desperate kind of crazy intensity in her good eye, like her gaze will burn you. You're going to leave, aren't you? No, yeah, of course, everyone does. Do you think I like this? I used to have a partner. She didn't like it either, but she helped anyway. Like you, I guess, except she didn't puke when she saw blood. And also, not like you at all. She made rules. She loves rules. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm not, like, big on those. Gamblinot queens broke rules all the time. And that's just what you gotta do to survive. To make the voice stop haggling me. And, like, she heard her lucus in her head, too. But she didn't need anything from her. What's that even like? I've got to be the best. I have to. I didn't get all the levels just to look at them on the sheet. You saw me out there. It's dangerous. She tried to kill me and left me alone. And then I got even because that's what you have to do to backstabbers. But I still don't feel even. It doesn't bother her. No one ever cares. They just leave and move on, and I'm still stuck here in this stupid world. How are people mad at me for putting losers out of their fucking misery? This planet fucking sucks. Whew, boy. That's a lot. You let her finish her tirade. She hasn't looked straight at you for the whole thing. You gently ask her about her Moirel, who you did befriend. Would feel about her saying she's alone. You see a lot of thoughts flicker through her head, and a lot of expressions dance across her face. She settles onto a look like she's smelling something off. People always want shit from other people. Sometimes you know somebody and you can't describe, like, what your whole deal is. You grow up with these ideas about what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to be. You get handed down these strict categories, tables in your player's handbook. And you read stories or journals or whatever that say, this is a mate spread. You feel like this about them. And you have a Moirel that meddles with you because you're just too broken for her. And she just wants. Or you get told, oh, this is what a rival looks like. And then you look at your black date and it's just an absolute repulsive, slimy ill who always wants you to kiss him. And you? Man, I could really upgrade in that department. But then there's someone that comes along and none of that stuff makes sense to you. You just like being with her. Or it's not even like, you just feel like shit makes more sense with her. I would say it's like you have this voice in your head saying you're not good enough all the time, but she makes it quiet. But I actually do have a voice in my head saying I'm not good enough. God, I'm not explaining this right. What I'm trying to say is, yeah, that's a doomsday device. Everyone leaves, no one cares, and we're all waiting on a call up to war. And look, I'm ready. I'm the best at war. It's just a big flarp. But I'd rather have a plan 8. Or plan B, probably. You give Virska a moment to breathe. You don't give her a reassuring touch on the back, remembering her jump and hiss when you tried the last. She's like a feral cat, this girl. Tangled, greasy hair droops over her shoulders that are always hunched up, like something would come for her throat if she exposed it to anyone. You wonder if she ever let her shoulders down around the girl she's talking about. An ex, perhaps? Of course she did. You wonder if you ever will again. You hear the psst in your ear and a squirrely little laugh, and suddenly remember a green room that you had this thought before somehow. You ask her the question that's been consuming you, or rather more accurately, not consuming you. Why were you left up here when everyone else got fed to the spider? She tenses up immediately when you ask this, and takes some time to clench her fist and release them. Some people are off limits. She has to eat, but she doesn't eat my friends when I bring her enough food. Are you counted as off limits? You're one of her friends. Oh my god, don't get a big head about it. I wouldn't let her eat Carcat either, and he's not like my bestie for life or anything. Plus, you helped me out. And that's the pirate code. Plus, Fusty Fangs would be mad. It must be hard separating trolls into two classes, friends and food like that. It must be hard, and nobody understands. I mean, that's how it works here. Everyone's got someone to kick it down on. Except Rustbloods. But them's the breaks. Somebody's gotta be the bottom to keep the whole shebang afloat. Killing people lower down than you is what all the school feeds say you're supposed to do. To get ready for a life of space war against, well, it mostly seems like they just kill more low bloods. That's all it ever is. My ancestor. She looks left and right as though she's going to be overheard and leans in smirkingly. She sounds like she's letting you in on a secret. But a secret. My ancestor, Mindfang. She sailed around being the terror of the high seas for a while, but she fell in with a group that was going to do something about all of that. A bunch of weirdos led by a mutant who wanted revolution. I've always wanted to be like her. I liked using her name more than my own for a while, dressing up like her, learning to sell. But I always end up back here with a pile of corpses. That's having a lucus, right? Sometimes you don't get to do what you want to do. She talks to me, you know. It only stops when she's full. Always whispering in my head. Saying I was fatter than her. Saying I deserved all the things that happened to me. Even when I was bleeding out on this floor. You look at the cold, cluttered, uncomfortably drafty room. Whatever happened to her face and arm must have happened here. You see her broken figure silhouetted on the wall. You look back at Virska, and you know what she is. For all the bombast, insults, killing, you're looking at a survivor. You're looking at someone who did nothing wrong. You remember Dave's carefully crafted defense of a persona. You remember Rose eating oatmeal for dinner, in a drafty, brutalist mansion, Jade in the shadow of a volcano raising herself. Your world can be as brutal as this one. Earth makes survivors too. And you have made a difference for them, one at a time. All of that nihilistic bullshit earlier feels like it was shouted at you by some meddling voice, someone holding the strings. Fuck that. You're going to be a goddamn hero today. You're gonna make friends with this whole fucking planet if you have to, and you're going to make it better. Or at least less of a complete dumpster. You tell Virska you'll be right back and sprint down the spiral staircase. You keep running, pumping your beautiful legs straight out the door of Virska's giant hive. You don't have to color inside the lines of someone else's story. This is your motherfucking narrative right now. You take a leap when you reach the cliff and barrel over, falling fast, wind whipping past your face as you tumble through the air towards the giant white spider. A leap not of faith, but of hope. You crash into the carapace of Virska's terrible murder mom hard and cracking it with a piercing shriek. At the same time, you zap hundreds of feet above the mouth of a volcano on Jade's Island and kick off the back of the spider, leaving the giant troll-gorged arachnid trembling into the lava as you zap back to Alternia, back to Virska's respite block. You appear behind her. She doesn't notice you. She's looking out her window at the empty web with a shocked expression. Still looking out her window, her stunned silence turns slowly into a grin someone less generous than you would describe as shit-eating. Holy shit, Blue! You actually did something! Hell fucking yes! We made a friend! And we saved Virska from her horrible lucus. Fuck you. No. Oh, this is an hour-long recording. I don't know how long the video is gonna be because I have a lot to cut out. I could not focus today. But, holy crap! MC said, fuck you, Scratch! I love this. This is amazing. Also, we're kind of very slowly remembering our friends now, so that's a thing. I wonder what else we'll end up doing. Becoming a hero of the narrative. Isn't that usually how it goes for protagonists? But that was it for today's video. If you like it, please give it a like and subscribe if you haven't already to join our wonderful galaxy. Comment down below and I'll get back to you in some way or another. And I will see you for our next adventure. Remember, we're all made of the same cosmic dust, so be nice. Kate, love you, bye!